Hey, let's build a skateboard shelf. Hey, what's going on? It's Chris. I want to do something a little different today. I want to make a shelf. So I have the situation upstairs in the sleeping loft, and then there's like clothes kind of all piled up. And what I want to do is I want to create a little bit of a shelf. So I like doing skateboard lamps. Link in description below to my Etsy store. I'll throw a picture or two up on the screen here as well. So I'm always in the market for used skateboards like this one. What I'm going to do is use these for the sides of a shelving unit, and then just this piece of pine for the actual shelf. So this is what is this? This is a 4-foot piece of pine. I'm going to cut it in half, make two 2-foot pieces. But pine is boring. I think we're going to have to do something to this board. In fact, we're going to Shou Sugi Ban it. I'm going to put a link up top to a tutorial video about Shou Sugi Banning that I did recently. I think you'll find that it's going to make this look a lot nicer. If it looks like it's cold here, that's because it is. It's about 18 or 19 degrees this morning. It's hard to work without gloves. It's hard to work with gloves. Let's turn up the heat. This looks really good in slow motion, by the way. Shou Sugi Ban. You know what my favorite part of that technique is? That there is absolutely no way that you can do that wrong unless you burn down the surrounding woods, a house, or you set yourself on fire. Short of that though, you can burn the wood as much or as little as you want. What a lot of people like to go for is this type of look right here, which is sort of like an alligator skin look. You can see that back here too. I won't go into too much more detail here. Like I said, there's another video on my channel which explores the whole process of Shou Sugi Ban. Personally, I like to sand them down. Whereas the unbrushed part has sort of a shiny texture to it. When you wire brush it, it becomes more dull. But we're gonna put some linseed oil on that. That's going to look great once that linseed oil is on there. Again, it's a preference thing. You don't have to do this. Doesn't that look nice already? Look at that. Brings out the sort of the grain of the wood really nice. Oh, still got some shiny bits on there. Hold on, let me hit that again. Okay, now that they're all nicely brushed like that, we're gonna apply the linseed oil, and you'll see what I'm talking about in terms of them really starting to pop. The Shou Sugi Ban burn process, the application of the linseed oil is also yet another thing that you really can't mess up. You can slather it on thick, thin, doesn't matter. The wood will soak in what the wood will soak in, and then you're going to just simply wipe down the rest with a rag. I'm gonna let that sit for a while. These temperatures aren't super conducive for that happening quickly. All right, the skateboards. So balancing a shelf on this is no good. There's a point in the board where it kind of is at its flattest, most perfect spot, and it's kind of like the trucks were installed kind of like right around there. To make it super easy, I'm just gonna slice the board right through these holes. When I do that, I'll know that I've cut both boards in exactly the same spot so that we get the same exact height. Oh man, what the did I get a bunch of black stuff on my nose? I sure did. They're black gloves. You can't tell how dirty they are. They're pretty dirty. We're just gonna cut these suckers. The sandpaper on the board, probably not the best thing for the saw blade. Duly noted. So now, look at that. We got two identical boards. Sweet. So I cut 4 of these pieces. It's just a 2x4 that's ripped right down the middle, so it's 1 3/4 inches by 1.5. I Shou Sugi Ban these as well. These are going to go underneath the shelf, and then I have a lot more substance, if you will, to support that shelf, if you understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand what I'm saying, it'll become abundantly clear. So, pretty quick project, pretty easy. It involves Shou Sugi Ban, which is like one of my favorite techniques of all time. If I could, I would Shou Sugi Ban the whole house, but it's probably not a good idea with the siding already installed. You might want to do that before you install the siding. But anyway, I didn't know that back then, but even a lowly piece of 2x4 gets elevated by the process, for sure. Kind of dirty. My nose is running too. It's gonna snow. I feel bad for the deer sometimes. I know they got fur and everything, but still, I would imagine it's nice to get out of the cold every now and then, even if you're, even if you're just a deer. I think beavers got it pretty comfortable. Random musings. All right, so now the goal is to get these rests for the shelf basically put into position. Alrighty then, so here we are. We've got one side, it's got a nice flat bottom now, 2 sides. Now all that remains is to connect the 2 up. I think it looks pretty nice. I think it's gonna look cool. Alright, here we go. By the way, before I wrap this thing up and put this shelf together, if you enjoyed this video, consider hitting subscribe. Hit the like button, because that helps me as well. But I've got more content like this, tiny house related. Thank you. Back to the task at hand. All right, let's connect up these shelves.